I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Ha, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors unto our apostle elders, which rule great millstone wow and Shalom. To the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, may you endure unto the end. Shalom, wa abababal. So it says in verse 1 of Job 22, Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, so it tells you in the subtitle, Eliphaz accuses and exhorts Job. All right. And he's actually not a Temanite. All right. He's just living amongst the Temanite because in the end, the Lord told Job to make a sacrifice for his friends or else he would destroy them. All right. So these are Jake, but under these other nations' title. It says in verse 2, Can a man be profitable unto power as he that is wise may be profitable unto himself? Is it any pleasure to the Almighty that thou art righteous? Or is it gain to him that thou maketh thy ways perfect? Will he reprove thee for fear of thee? Will he enter with thee into judgment? Is not thy wickedness great and thine iniquities infinite? Because he didn't understand. See, this is the man speaking that don't understand. For thou hast taken a pledge from thy brother for naught, and stripped the naked of their clothing. So he's pretty much saying you had to do something to make the Lord angry, and that's why these things are happening to you. But there's one part I wanted to get that he does say something true in here. All right, Job 22, verse 22, Receive, I pray thee, the law from his mouth, and lay up his words in thine heart. If thou return to the Almighty, thou shalt be built up. Right here, you shall be built up, edified, but he's thinking about gold. Thou shalt put away iniquity far from thy tabernacles. Then shalt thou lay up gold as dust, and the gold of Ophir as the stones of the brooks. See? But really, all right, Job was a righteous man and perfect. It says in Job 1, verse 1, there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Yahweh, the power, and eschewed evil. All right. So he was a perfect man. All right. But the Lord had to get these people out of his way, like his family. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters, which they had to be killed because they were evil. All right. And that's why the Lord told him, do you think that my judgment was evil, that he killed his sons and daughters? No. Right. It was just. And that's what Job had to get over. All right. Because the Lord said that he keeps Job alive for his answer for wicked men. Watch it. Says in 38. Let me see. It was Job 34, verse 35. I'll start at 35. Job have spoken without knowledge, and his words were without wisdom. Because Job wanted to die because he was suffering from his great loss. My desire is that Job may be tried unto the end because of his answers for wicked men, which he made the Lord innocent before men. All right? So he was a righteous man, perfect in his ways, which his ways were righteous before the Lord. For he addeth rebellion unto his sin. He clappeth his hand among us, and multiplieth his words against power. Translation comparison, NLT, For you have added rebellion to your sin. You show no respect, and you speak many angry words against power. See, so he spoke without wisdom, not realizing that the Lord didn't want to destroy him. Right? And that's why in Job 38, pretty much the Lord go ahead and speaks to Job. It says, Then Yahweh answered Job out of the whirlwind, out of the chariot of heaven, and said, Who is this that darkeneth counsel by words, without knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand, and answer thou me. Where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding. See, and he was going through so much earthly pain that he wasn't understanding. But really, Job was a part of that number that created everything. In Genesis 1 and verse 1, and in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Now, when you go into that word God, it says Elohim. It's not the supreme God, the one true God. It's the rulers and judges, the divine ones, angels, gods. All right, dealing with the elect men. All right, what do you say? I have said ye are gods, Psalms 82. Verse 6, I have said ye are gods, and all of you are the sons of the Most High Yahweh. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes, which we fell from power, and now we're in slavery. All right. So Job 30, and that's what happens is, you get so caught up in this earthly life that you forget what's really important. All right. And that's why we have to daily edify each other what's important. What's important is Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the supreme being. Yahweh gave us his word, Yahweh Shai. Where it says in Job 38 and 4, Where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? If thou hast understanding, declare if thou hast understanding, which he was with him. With who? With Yahweh Shai. John 1 verse 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yahweh, and the Word was power, because he's a God, Yahweh Shai. The same was in the beginning with Elohim. So Job would have been one of the Elohim. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. See? So Job was that light, even though he didn't understand it. And the darkness, the people around him didn't understand it. And that happens to the prophets. Job 38, verse 5. Who has laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest? Or who has stretched the line upon it? Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? Or who laid the cornerstone thereof? See? Yahweh, and he gave us Yahweh Shai. But see, the thing is, when you're born into this world, you don't have no remembrance. Ecclesiastes 1, verse 10, it says, Is there anything whereof it may be said, See, this is new? It had been already of old time, which was before us. So all the people that are alive were from the past. The elect were the first creation of Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai. There is no remembrance of former things, right? Being the Elohim, we don't remember it. Neither shall there be any remembrance of the things that are to come, which we didn't remember the prophecies. That's why we needed the elder apostles that rule great millstone to teach us the truth, with those that shall come after. See? So Job was in that same seat. He didn't know that he was with the Lord, and he didn't know that he would be with the Lord in the end until the end. All right, because he actually says it. He says, I will see my Lord standing. All right. It says in Job 38, verse 5, who had laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest, who has stretched the line upon it, whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened, or who laid the cornerstone thereof, when the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of Yahweh shouted for joy. And all the sons of Yahweh shouted for joy. So Job was one of those sons. See? Job 1, verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of Yahweh came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan came also among them. And Yahweh said unto Satan, which is an angel, whence cometh thou? Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And Yahweh said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth power and escheweth evil? See? So Job was one of those sons of God that sang praise when everything was built. Job 38, it says, verse 8, who shut up the sea with doors when it breaketh forth as if it had issued out of the womb? Which even Moses, all right, Exodus 21, verse 30, and Moses, which is also an Elohim, an elect, which he's King David, and Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahweh caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And when they pursued, what happened? The Lord, look, verse 26, and Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand over the sea, that the waters may come again unto the Egyptians upon their chariots and upon their horsemen. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it, and Yahweh overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. See? Through who? Through his men. His elect men that were the Elohim in the beginning, and that's why the earth obeyed him, and the authority that Yahweh gave him through his son Yahushua. Job 38 and 9, when I made the cloud the garment thereof, and thick darkness a swaddling band for it, and break up for it, made decreed place, it says, and break up for it my decreed place, and set bars and doors, and said, hitherto shalt thou come, but no further, and here shall thy proud waves be stayed. See? So who controls all this? Yahweh through his son Yahushua, and he has elect men that the angels are ministering to. All right, and those are the elect. And sometimes the elect, they go through this mortal flesh and they get weak sometimes. But that's why we edify. And this is why he has us edifying. Romans 14 and 19. Let us therefore follow after the things which make for peace, and the things wherewith one may edify another, build them up in this faith. 1 Corinthians 10, verse 23. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 11. Wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one and another, even as also ye do. And that's what we're doing through doing these videos. We're edifying the elect. All right. Now the women of our nation that are going to be saved, they're going to be saved because they submit themselves in the order that Yahweh created us, man over the woman. It says in Isaiah 4 and 1, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, that man being more precious than the gold of Ophir, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. That's the power of the elect. See, Yahweh gave power to the elect through Yahweh Shai as saviors. All right, and that's why they got to cleave unto the elect to be delivered. The elect will be delivered, but the rest of Israel will have to be joined to those elect men. That's why we're the gates. Obadiah 1 verse 21, which is only one chapter, so verse 21, and saviors shall come up on Mount Zion and judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be Yahweh's. So the men of the Lord shall rule over Esau. NLT version, those who have been rescued will go up to Mount Zion in Jerusalem to rule over the mountains of Edom, and Yahweh himself will be king. All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto our apostle elders, which rule great millstone wow, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abba.